Hello everybody and welcome to Locked Away, the show where I talk about games I'm currently playing through. Today we're gonna talk about Star Fox 1 and the beta of Star Fox 2, since Nintendo is finally releasing the final version from its basement with the SNES Mini. So where do I start? Star Fox did not age well. It's breathtaking how this game looks and feels so much shittier than Star Fox 64. I mean, this game really was a technical marvel for its time, and I think it's a bit unfair for me to compare it to newer titles. However, it does so much wrong in the game design aspect, and it's really apparent that the SNES could not handle 3D graphics. Even with the FX chip, which is supposedly even stronger than the SNES itself, it honestly feels like the screen puked a mess of polygons when the action gets intense. Now, that isn't to say that the graphics aren't charming in a way. I think they did the best they could with the available technology, but everything looks the same and it really begs you to use your imagination in order to figure out what is happening. The space stages are the better looking ones since they have actual backgrounds. Every stage that takes place in a planet looks like freaking Cloud City. However, as I said, there's that classic Nintendo charm here, and the world and characters have some personality, even if it's very superficial. I think it all comes down to hardware limitations and not really knowing what to do with a 3D game. This game was also going for some sort of story implemented into the gameplay thing, I guess. The characters are a bit shallow, but they are charismatic. I just think it's a shame that the cheesy writing that I love so damn much only became a thing in Star Fox 64.
I guess I should be thankful.
These humble beginnings are very interesting to experience either way, even if this game looks like shit. There's a lot of mechanics that got expanded upon in further installments, and it's kind of fun to look at something and say, hey, I remember that from that other game. If you're not really a Star Fox enthusiast though, I feel like there's not much point into playing this game. The shooting honestly feels imprecise and the lack of aim only makes things harder. There's no homing attack or anything like that, only a standard pea shooter and some bombs you can collect. Actually, collecting upgrades and recovery items was incredibly inconsistent. I feel like there's something wrong in the coding of this game, or maybe I just suck at it. I mean, it's very possible either way. When the game goes into first person is when I had the most panic attacks. I just could not get used to how the FX chip renders proximity and how it draws distance. Besides, I feel like taking care to not lose your wings was extra frustrating since I could not see myself. But even in third person there's some enemies that are borderline unavoidable. Like there was this one point in the game where I found like some space seal things, but you weren't supposed to shoot them even though they look the same as everything else. There are also a shit ton of enemies that just fly behind you and cripple your ship while you can do anything. And the fact that when you die you go back to the beginning of the game also kind of ruins this game for me. However, it's not like it takes too long to get back where you were. This game ain't that long regardless of the path that you take, but the amount of unfair difficulty really destroys this game. Now, Star Fox 2 on the other hand is a game with a lot more interesting ideas and it controls much better, but since this is essentially a beta, it lacks content and challenge. Gone are the auto stages, a staple of the franchise, and here we are introduced to the precursor of the all-range mode in Star Fox 64. I'm not very fond of getting rid of auto stages, but I mean they had their own set of problems in the original. The real meat of the game would theoretically be strategizing to take out Andros' forces in this interstellar war. Basically, the Star Fox mercenaries take an active role in strategizing where to go next and what missions to take in order to win the war. This honestly feels like an extension on the multiple paths mechanic that is a staple in the series, but it's not fully explored here since you can only move one unit around. However, I do believe it makes more sense when you consider the war is still going on as you play the missions. At least I think it is. I have shitty memory, guys. In this game, the Star Fox lore got a bit expanded too. Now the mercenaries have a mothership, and Star Fox got two new members. We have Proto Cat and Puddle Bill. Seeing both these characters that are clearly the inspiration of such amazing characters we see in the future kind of makes me happy, you know? This game is also the introduction of Star Wolf and the dogfighting we see later in the series. The first person this time around is used much more efficiently in these segments. But as I said, this game is freaking easy regardless of the difficulty you choose. That's okay though, this is a beta after all, and replaying it is a ton of fun even if it lacks the imaginative level design that I kind of enjoyed in the first game. You know, this made me curious to see what the finished product has in store, but I don't think I'll be buying an SNES Mini only for that. Anyway, with Star Fox 1 I had a pretty okay time, but with Star Fox 2 I'm actually having a good time. It's fun to see the start of so many good concepts, and it's nice to find other Star Fox games I enjoy besides Star Fox 64 and Zero. These games obviously have a lot of charm and value for what they are. That's the reason why so many classics are worth revisiting. It's nice to see the rocky beginnings to understand better the current time. I'm glad to say I didn't regret playing these games. Now I doubt I'll be playing them again anytime soon, but that's already expected from old games like this. Well, either way, I guess I understand a bit better why people are excited about the SNES Mini. What I can take from this is that to improve in the future and appreciate the present, we should never be afraid to learn from the past.